Done it! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a one-shot Wednesday, which is a new thing that I'm trying to get going on the channel. We've had our Hell Scouts camp several weeks ago, which I thought was an amazing one-shot where we had little tiefling children going to summer camp to learn how to be their baddest self. We also had our summer in Woodlake not even a month ago now. That was a crazy adventure that was GM'd by our dear friend Dammit Barry. But this week we have something special, and that we are going to be doing a noir fantasy, urban fantasy, which is basically all of the shows that you've seen about, you know, the supernatural stuff, maybe even that show of the same name, but it takes place in the 20s, because why not? It seemed fun at the time. Also, before we begin, you can find us every week, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and even around May, we are going to be having a show on Thursdays as well, which will be super fun. So you can expect even more stuff coming your way. And if you like that stuff, you can check us out on youtube.com/theindoor-adventurer or twitch.tv/theindoor-adventurer if you want to catch us live. Also, we have a Patreon, so if you want to help out, you know, give us some monies every once in a while, maybe, you can totally do that. And that didn't do the thing I wanted to, and that's still not doing it. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Until now. Hello, everybody. Do you see this excellent mug? A mug like this can also be in your hands if you go to bit.ly/indoormerch. It's a great place where you can find great shirts that fit great people, and by that, I mean you. And if you go and get yourself either a shirt or something like that, who knows? Maybe you will find even more surprise merch there later. I don't know what that surprise merch may be because it'll be a surprise to everybody, but it will be there. So expect more merch coming soon because I want to fill out the limit on stuff that we can put in the store. And I think we're at like halfway, so brace yourselves. But that is it for my spiel. So, hey guys, ready for a fun adventure? GB, why don't you let us in on a little bit of what is going to be in store for us tonight?
So, like we were saying, you know, shows like Supernatural, Hellboy, Angel, Buffy, any of those shows where the supernatural exists, but most people don't know that it exists. So that is this world. We're going to be in a town, a rather large port city, Port Cleveroft, and it's in New Hampshire, New England, Maryland. Maryland. Thank you. And there is a force in the world called the Veil. And the Veil keeps the monsters from being able to be seen. They, you know, if a guy's a troll, he just looks like a really big guy. If they're a vampire and they're all fanged out, they just look like a crazy person. So monsters and gnomes and dwarves look like smaller people. It's the Veil protects them. Now, sometimes the veil gets thin, like around Halloween, and hence the monsters have propagated I call them monsters, but it's fae and, spirits and monsters and humanoids, all that. The Feywild, the magics in the woods, that kind of thing. They're all protected by the Veil. And, that's really what we need to know, other than it's in the 1920s. The Great War has ended, and we are going to talk to our fine characters. How about, we've still got a little character creation to do. What I have jumbled together is I jumbled most of the dice mechanics from the Apocalypse Engine Dungeon World. Concepts and abilities are coming kind of from Fate Core, and then really concept came from Numenera, but abilities and powers are going to come from Fate Core, but they're going to be very Dungeon Worldy as far as powers go. I made up stats, and I'm going to try to remember the names of them. So I pulled up a sheet. And then I was starting to make names for the moves, but we're just going to not worry about it. The players are just going to call out what they're saying, and I'm going to say, that sounds like this with this stat. And they will tell me what number they roll on their D6s. 2d6 plus whatever the modifier is. 1 to 6 is a failure, 7 to 9 is partial success, and 10 plus is a success. And then we'll go from there with, them describing how they succeed, or me asking them what they want to do when they fail or partially succeed. That's pretty much the game mechanics, except for we have physique, which is hit points, like physical hit points. Sanity, which is mental hit points, because it's a supernatural game, so things are going to try to get your mind. And we have luck, which is kind of from fate. Your luck points are they are not plus 10. They are just your just agility and charm, whatever your bonuses are, added together. And so those are like fate points. And what you can do with them is you can go, I want to reroll. I'm spending a luck. I'm using some luck. And then re-roll your dice and take away a fate point or a luck point. And or if you want to change the storyline in a direction for yourself, for another, in a good way, in a bad way, you can spend a luck point. So you could literally say, well, I always keep a 357 in the desk drawer, spend a luck point, and there's a gun in the drawer. Or, I want while we're talking, I want a distraction so that I can turn invisible when this guy looks away for a second. Those are the kind of things you can spend a luck point for. Does that all kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Pretty easy. All right. I guess other than that, we can, I'm going to get a new document up so I can make some character notes as we go along. And, we still have to do the powers and abilities for the characters, for all you people out there in the audience. But I'm going to let you guys go around while I'm getting that document up and kind of describe what you look like and, what you are. Your I don't want to race, I guess.
Your classification.
There you go. Start us off, Indoor.
Hello, I'm the Indoor Adventurer, and I'm going to be playing Hazel Harkin. I am a really happy-go-lucky, early to mid-20s girl from, the 1920s. I have a bob haircut. I like to wear sundresses, and I have a large straw hat with a nice blue ribbon around it that I like to wear. My hair is a dark... I'll say it's more of like an auburn color. And I just have a very nice, cute round face. It's not very angular, but it's more of, and she has like a button nose and stuff. Probably around like 5'5". She's not too tall. And she has psychic powers, which she uses to help her sister. So, hey sis, wings.
All right, I'll go next. I'm going to be playing Hazel Harkin's older sister, Rue Harkin, or as her coworkers or colleagues would call her, Detective Harkin. And she's about 5'6", so like not much taller than her sister. She's got like tight curls, like blonde, like almost like a helmet around her head. And she wears a fedora, a trench coat, and like suspenders underneath and a tie. Like she's a professional, and she is a private eye with a paranormal bent, but a little down on her luck. So she's not necessarily been getting very exciting jobs as of late, but she's making do.
All right. Who's next? Choose somebody.
I was going to say, if you would just pick their indoor, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, sure.
I almost got this sheet set up.
We are going to go with our damsel in distress, Satan. Who are you playing?
Hello. I'm playing Lilith, and she is a vampire. In my head, when I made her, I basically picture like 1920s Morticia Adams.
Yes.
You know, why not? So literally 1920s Morticia Adams, and very, very pale, long black hair, and really fitted a black dress with black gloves. And if it's the daytime, she'll wear a big black hat with a veil over it because she's a vampire and she doesn't like the sun. And our poor dear damsel has falling into a bit of tragedy. Her wife has been kidnapped, and she's looking for help from Detective Parker to find her wife.
All right, and Jen, who are you going to be playing tonight?
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm playing Beltane Hawthorne, a seemingly standoffish fey being. He's devilishly charming. He'll keep his madam safe and always seems to be there when needed, even when he's not summoned. He's a very tall fey. He's got gray skin, blue eyes that are set in a black, whatever the whites of the eyes are called.
Galera.
Yeah, that's what. Stands very tall. He's very well dressed. He always has a vest on, very pinstriped trousers on. Very upkept and clean. He's your best friend if you are on the right side of the things with him.
I love it.
He's my dear bodyguard, whom I love very much.
He'll keep his mistress safe no matter what.
All right, GB, you got everything together? Do you want us to start doing some?
We can spout nonsense for a while.
Nonsense and learn about each other.
Yeah, why don't? Because I'll ask a question to start it off. Lilith, you in our chat, because there was like 1,000 chats. We literally came up with this game at 1:01 a.m. today, and have been hashing it out since then. And we slept and went to work, some of us. So it's almost 99.9% improv. I literally came up with the game mechanics like this morning. So anyway, now that you know that, the question is, your wife Lilith has been kidnapped. Give us some info.
Some info. Let's see. Okay. Well, improv. I should know this because I'm currently taking an acting class. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Lilith is a mob wife. So her wife Rosie, who's a really tall, strong half-orc, is the mob boss. And then one day she came home, and usually where Rosie's in her study, she wasn't there, and she wasn't anywhere else, and she got worried because Rosie's always at her study at that time, and she called for Beltane, and Beltane hadn't seen Rosie at all. And then we went to the room, and I'm making this up as I go, so we'll see where this goes.
This is perfect.
Yeah, this is what we're supposed to do, and I'm taking some notes as we go, so it's all good.
When we went to mine and Rosie's room, it was ransacked. Nothing was taken, which was weird, but there were signs of a struggle, and Rosie wasn't there. And Lilith just feared the worst, and she was freaking out. And then Beltane calmed her down and told her, "I know someone who can help," and that's where we are.
All right. So Rosie is the mob boss, and you are not a good mob boss, correct?
Rosie's the mob boss. I'm the mob wife, but I'm secretly the head of the operation.
Oh, see, okay, good. That's what I wanted to know.
Oh.
All right.
There's a reason.
Okay. Anyone else have some more detail? Like maybe Detective Harkin, you were an ex-cop and
Yep. I was an ex-cop and I dropped out after an incident happened with my fiance. He turned into a werewolf and I had to gank him.
did you then become a monster hunter because you were aware of said creatures?
I think that I was in the process of becoming a monster hunter when all of this sort of happened. And I realized that having to answer to like, you know, an entire police force was going to make things a bit too difficult in those terms.
Yeah.
So I dropped out of the police force and became a private investigator, read paranormal investigator, and like, you know, then became a full-time monster hunter.
And did we discuss it on air about the site, or weren't we on the air yet?
I don't think we were on there yet.
So one of Detective Harkin's powers is the sight, and she can see beyond the veil, so she sees the monsters as monsters, and it quite often freaks the monsters out when she looks at them because she can see them and they kind of know that she can see them, and so she kind of can uncover their secret lives. So
That's right.
she's kind of a threat.
This is probably something that Hazel has too, just on, you know, merit of being a psychic.
Hazel, is that feasible? Do you want the site?
I think that would work out fine. I almost want to say it was like,
or it might even be funny if you didn't and you still believed.
I just believed really hard. Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say it could even be a thing where it's like after the thing that happened with your husband or with your fiance, then like you're borderline inconsolable, being like, no one's believing me, blah 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 blah, and then it's just me and you, and then I perform like a psychic thing in front of you and just be like, no, I believe you.
A psychic thing.
I don't know if I move stuff or if I read minds. I haven't figured out what psychic I am.
That's what we're here for.
Hazel just stands there for like 30 seconds flat doing nothing. Like, did you see that? What? I just had a vision. Did you just like...
I opened and closed the refrigerator downstairs. Just why downstairs? There are plenty of things you could have moved up here.
I can only do it if no one's looking.
Nobody look. Everyone close your eyes.
All right. Well, we do have to start moving along. So
Okay.
we need to... Does someone have an idea of one of their powers?
I want to
Yes.
be like Abe Sapien. I want to be able to like walk in and touch stuff and be able to learn about the surrounding area.
Object reading. Okay, so write that in.
Okay.
Just down with your powers. And we are going to say object reading is based on your Moxie?
Sure.
Well, what's your high stat?
My high stat is charm because I'm such a cutie, but I would be willing to have it be in Moxie.
All right,
If it made more sense.
let's make it Moxie.
Okay.
You can touch and you can feel the person's energy within the object.
Got it.
And we can jump around. We can go through one person. Anybody else got one that they're ready for?
Let somebody else go.
Persuasion for Beltane.
Ah.
So handsome.
And is it a skill or is it a power, like vampire look into your eyes?
I think a power because he's Fey and he's able to persuade the very old world Fey persuasion.
Nice. Okay, so Beltane has persuasion. If ever I published these notes anywhere. Please excuse my spelling. I am dyslexic.
It's all good.
I'm going to put persuasion, old world.
He's got that old world charm.
And let's go ahead and make that charm.
Why can't
Oh,
boys
can
dress
literally
like you
say
in the
he's
60s?
from the old world because he's that old.
Okay, so he is timeless, as it were.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
He was
So-
in Wales before Wales was Wales.
Nice. That old. Okay. I like it. I'm going to write down timeless under powers, and you can write it there too if you want, so we remember it if ever we come back to these characters. But it really doesn't have an ability attached to it,
Mhm.
because it's not really a power, it's more of a detail. Next.
Well, I wanted to give Lilith like a vampire charm kind of thing, like she can like charm you and make you do whatever she wants.
Okay, I'm gonna call it the look into my eyes.
Look into my eyes. What if this entire game I just do the silly Vlad voice? I want to suck your blood.
You guys probably don't know this, but the other people do. I used to do Dracula karaoke on my drive to work.
Oh
So
my goodness.
whatever song would be on, I would try to sing it as corny Dracula. So like, walking on sunshine, whoa, and I feel good. So
Oh no, I love that.
40 minutes of Dracula singing on the way to and from work. So and look into my eyes. Is it based on your charm or your will?
I was gonna say charm.
Okay.
That's
All right.
like, yeah, I'm gonna switch that because I thought I had intelligence as my highest, but I'm gonna choose the charm if I have that.
So Lilith uses her actual like physical charming abilities to do the look into my eyes. It is still a power, so it's compelling, and people will have to fight against it. But yes, it's charming, not a force of will. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay. Anyone else?
Invisible.
Ooh, okay. Beltane, invisible.
Going back to that Fae thing, they can appear wherever they want, whenever they want.
Being spooky as hell.
Old
That's
world
bodyguard.
Fae are messed up, let me tell you.
Okay. And all right. So, and is the invisible is like an at will ability?
Yeah, sure, that'd be good.
Okay.
Will.
So what we're going to do with that then is, because that's really powerful, we are going to give you a negative,
Okay.
a weakness. So we will. How about the classic Fae, allergic to iron, basically.
Yes.
Ooh, during the
Iron
Industrial
allergy.
Revolution?
Yeah. So Beltane has some issues here with wrought iron fences and whatnot. So, but that's
If you guys don't
constant
think
hay
that I've
fever.
got like horseshoes in my office and like garlic and steaks and
exactly.
Pretty.
Okay. And then I'm gonna attach invisible right to, and how will I do that? VS. I'll do VS. Shake.
I think I should have an ability called Hit Streets, where it's just like a catch-all like investigation ability to like ask around and look for clues.
You got connections in the streets.
And
Mhm.
how does Detective Harkin use hit the streets? Do you like rough people up? Do you, schmooze them, force of
I,
will?
I'm gonna say it's Moxie,
All right,
where it's just like it's the detective's intuition.
all
So
right.
I got a feeling about this one, guys.
Do you have like an
You got
army of
Moxie,
street
kid.
children kind of thing?
What was that?
Do you have an army of street children who are now like, our parents died in the war? Like,
No.
My mother was
Give me a
crushed by an
museum.
iron beam.
I'll slip you a nickel if you.
you just got a bunch of newsies.
Yep, the bunch of newsies. It's perfect.
I've got an army. I've got a newsy army.
I have been doing the gangster voice all day, all day, and I work by myself, so it's been really bad. All right, so hit the streets, Moxie. That's great. Anyone else? I want to have like 3 or 4 apiece. I have one for you, Lilith, if you'd like.
Yes,
You can drink their blood.
I can drink their blood. Yes, I like
And-
that.
I will let you regain health via drinking blood, but you have been told never to drink the blood of non-humans.
Okay.
It's like vampire boogeyman lore. You don't know why. So you have your whole existence been able to pick thralls and people to drink blood from that would fall to your charm and be thralls for you, walking blood banks, as it were. So,
Yes, I like this. What should we name this? Lifeblood?
Lifeblood. I like lifeblood. Lifeblood.
I also wanted to give her maybe like speed to go with like a classic vampire ability.
Or I don't drink wine.
You
I'm
want
gonna
to
name it that.
All right. I don't drink wine.
I don't drink.
Perfect.
And I chat, I apologize. I can't keep an eye on you tonight. I normally absolutely love chat. So if anybody has ideas or whatever, throw it out there, because we this is improv. And
audience suggestion.
so you can in a round, you can basically make an attack. You'll roll willing. If it's a willing victim, you don't have to roll at all. Unwilling victim, I guess we have to say strength.
Oh no, I have 0.
But I think what we're going to do is we're going to let you spend your health to add up to 3 points at any time. Does that make sense? So you can spend your actual physical health, like you're burning off the blood that you have, and you can add up to 3 points. So for 3 points of health, you can add 3 points to a die roll
Okay.
to any of your physical stats.
Jury rigging some Vampire the Masquerade in here.
That's what I'm saying. I just, I got 40 years of gaming, so it's just a mush up there, and I'm like, let's bring in this. Oh yeah, we need one of those.
So that's for I don't drink wine. I
Yep.
can spend 3 HP point.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just retelling it to myself.
Yep.
I have guns and driving. It's the 20s.
All
Tommy
right.
guns? Is it Tommy?
Tommy gun.
Oh, nice.
I would probably a pistol or something small you can keep on him.
Okay, and then put pistol down under objects that you have, and then next to it, write 3 ammo. And what ammo does is it's sort of a collection of shells, boxes of ammo, your pockets full. And when you fail at rolls or get partial success, I can give you the opportunity. Do you want to use extra bullets? And you'll take away from that ammo. And you can buy more, steal more. It's not a thing. But just give yourself ammo 3 for now.
Okay.
And then also too, don't forget about Lilith under I don't drink wine. Remember, you can make an attack for a D4 of lifeblood to refill yourself.
So for that ability, it's roll a d4 and see what I get after I make my attack. Okay.
Yep. Okay. But like I said, for willing victims, you don't even have to make an attack.
Okay.
Why, of course, like they fall to your charm first, and you get them. Yep.
Glass straw with a little,
It's those like crazy straws. And it says bad bitch.
It's a little
yeah, it spells out bad bitch as the crazy straw.
It's scrolling all the way across. It's like this wide in the middle, Yes. Okay. So now, I'm afraid you've got some good powers there, so we have to give you some vampiric weaknesses.
Okay.
So
sunlight.
Yes. So look into my eyes. I think we're gonna make repelled by garlic.
Okay. So if they have garlic, they can repel my charm.
You can't touch them. They can still be charmed, but you can't physically touch them. So you couldn't attack them and drink their blood.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put repelled by garlic.
Would that be more for I don't drink wine then?
Oh, sure. That sounds good. Let's do that.
Because if you add garlic to the mix, it just ruins the whole flavor.
Exactly.
It makes my throat swell.
It's like an over garlic pasta dish.
Oh.
You mean a good pasta dish?
Or anything I ever cook at home.
Have a bowl there.
Okay, and so that's the repelled by garlic. You can't touch, which means you can still charm them, or use your super speed to run away from them. Okay, and then because of your look into my eyes, and these don't necessarily coordinate with one another, it's just this is what you get because you have this.
Okay.
There has to be a downside to some of these powers because normal humans have none of this. Sheep before your abilities. Okay, so let's just look into your eyes. It'll be I'm gonna put yes, allergic to sunlight.
Yes.
To direct sunlight.
So it could be like if I'm in sunlight, like even if I still have like my veil and everything, maybe my charm doesn't work because I'm weaker.
You're gonna actually take damage. You
Will.
will end up taking damage. In direct sunlight, but you have to be exposed to it. So if you wore gloves and a gown and a veil, you'd be protected from it. If it was foggy out, you would be protected from it. Even a cloudy day, you don't burst into flames or anything. It just would only direct sunlight.
Thank you. I'm gonna name the speed. Now you see me.
Nice.
Ooh, I like it.
Lilith's a bad bitch. This is great.
That's why she's got that crazy straw.
Okay. So speed, yes. So what did you say? Now you see me?
Now you see me.
All right. Now you see me. And super speed. So what that's going to equate to in game terms is you can always go first.
Okay.
And then we're going to say the weakness on that is blood. Let's say that. Does that sound right? You're burning that blood to be able to go
Go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
would it be just the blood that I gained from drinking or just my own HP that I
It's-
already started with?
That's all. It's all the same pool. You can
Okay.
never be bloated with blood. You don't walk around with a big belly full of, oh, I got extra blood. You can only go to your max.
And how much HP would that burn?
Why don't we do
I only have like 10 HP.
right to go first? I just won. Let's try it and see.
Okay. And like for her fourth, I wanted to give her like her final power, like an ultimate, like maybe like a vampire rage where like she gets like black veins and like claws and her fangs come out more. It's kind of like a rage. but
Right.
Maybe she's like super like weak after she does it.
How about something like Unleash the Beast or something like that? Okay.
I like that. That sounds like a great metal band, just
Yeah.
saying.
The Beast. Okay. And so I'm gonna put down for notes monster transformation. And so what do you get in monster trans? Okay, so why don't we give you 3 points of armor, so you ignore every time you take damage, you ignore 3 points of it. So just armor 3 to use the Dungeon World stats. Oops, if I could type. So you get armor 3 and
Maybe like a claw or bite attack.
sure, let's give you a
Because I don't really have an attack.
right.
I like the
Let's-
claws.
Let's
Yeah, like claws are super,
nails.
right? Just
yeah. Let's give you claws for a D6.
okay.
And your bite will let's give you a D6 for that, but that is part of your I don't drink wine power.
Okay, so if I do a bite attack, it correlates with my I don't drink wine power.
Yep.
So I have to make sure I don't bite non-human.
Right, exactly. And in that way too, you can still use your claws against someone who has garlic,
Yeah.
but you couldn't bite someone who has garlic.
Yeah.
And draws blood. All
I
right.
love this.
So we have that's a vampire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look good?
Yep.
Goal. All right. Look at that. Okay. So I believe Beltane said something and I missed it.
Oh,
So you-
driving.
Okay. You're an expert driver.
I just want to drive all those sexy 1920 cars.
So what you can do, and the mechanics for expert driver is basically it's kind of like advantage in D&D.
Mm-hmm.
You roll 3d6 instead of 2d6 and take the best. So whenever it's a driving thing you want to try to do,
Mm-hmm.
and normal driving is just normal driving. But if you I want to lose the cops, or
Right.
I want to jump the ramp or something like that, then you roll 3 dice and
Mhm,
take
mhm.
the best 2.
Can it be both motorcycle? I remember motorcycles in the 20s. I don't remember.
I
Yes.
think so.
Yes.
Very
I
primitive.
can't
one.
remember when they were actually manufactured.
Well, when is Captain America?
But Captain
based?
America punched Hitler in the
World War
face.
II. And that's
in
from
the
the 30s,
40s.
40s.
The 1940s. Okay, never mind.
But I think there were.
Like tanks were a glorious new invention at this time.
Well-
So you can't drive a tank.
Technically, the first one wasn't like around late 1800s, so you could have a motorcycle.
I would
Alright.
say Beltane was the first test driver for that motorcycle.
Oh, nice,
He's
nice.
a car fanatic.
All right.
They look for like bikes with
When
motors
was
on
the
them.
first motorcycle?
He has a Model T Ford
All right.
stashed away.
You could call
The first motorcycle was made in 1885.
Mhm.
you could
He has
call
one.
your
He
ability
has the first
wingnut.
one.
Call it what?
Wingnut.
Is that acceptable,
Wingnut.
Beltane?
Yes, I
All
love
right.
it.
I'm gonna put wingnut in front of this. You know what? I think we will go ahead and just let you pilot all vehicles. We're just gonna go for it. That's expert driver.
If we find a tank,
A plane, a tank.
you Maryland's gonna have some troubles.
All right. And then we made you timeless. You have invisibility, but you're allergic to iron. You're an expert driver. You got one more?
I am mechanical because got to keep up my car, got to keep up my gun.
Okay. The
What
mechanic.
about an attack? Do you have an attack?
I have a gun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
pretty
shoot
good
things
attack.
before I actually get near
It's
them.
like that Indiana Jones gift where it's like the guy with the sword and then he just like
You know, that was an improv. It's one of the most famous ad libs of all time.
Because he was sick and he didn't
had
want to do the choreography.
He had horrible diarrhea and he didn't want to do it. He's like, can't I just shoot this guy? And they were like, yes, you can.
Mechanical, yes.
All right. I wrote the mechanic. And
Yes.
how about we just give you re-rolls?
Okay.
Any may re-roll.
Yes. Yes, I think these four are pretty good.
Okay.
5, because we have persuasion tucked in there.
What can we do to make me into a crack shot?
All right. We can do that. All right.
Because I am a squishy human and a gun is only defense.
I'm gonna
Nope.
put away my milk before it turns sour, real quick.
And-
And I was having tea.
Go for it.
And I was gonna wait till like later in the game in case it came up, but I have one of my favorite props.
Oh, nice.
And it's fake. It's a stage gun, but the bullets, you can load the clip, and if you put primers in the shotgun primers in the bullets, it'll go pop 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 and throw shells.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I love this so much.
I love that thing. Okay. Okay. So crack shot, Detective Harkin.
That's great. So what can we do with that mechanically?
Mechanically, we can either give you the advantage mechanic or the reroll mechanic. Either one is very viable. Which would you rather do?
I'm going to go with advantage
Perfect.
because I like rolling lots of dice.
Okay. Roll 3,
That is very fair and very valid.
2. All right. All right.
How often do I get to use that? Surely
Um,
not always.
How about once per scene?
Okay.
So, and that'll be instead of being like, oh, you can do it all the time, but you have to have some kind of weird weakness because you're a human, and weaknesses on humans they're human.
We
My
squeeze.
weakness is my very soft human flesh.
Good question I was gonna ask. What is the
Mhm.
restriction on how many times I can unleash the beast?
Let's change armor. 3 claws, bite, draws blood. Yeah, we do need a.
Pretty.
What's the benefit?
So, oh, go ahead.
attacks. Because I only have attacks when I do that, unless we can add. I don't drink wine as it's kind of attack because I'm sucking someone's blood.
Technically, it is an attack. Yes, it's a D4.
From a purely thematic level, it sounds like that should be a daily thing.
Yeah.
So, like, do whatever you need to that attack to make it worth a daily.
For the Unleash of the Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a once a day. Okay.
Once a day.
The thought that I had about that was maybe also it's like once you reach below a certain health threshold, because then like you've already lost X amount of blood. Normally, based on what you've described for your character, it seems more like you're like, let's talk about this and not be like too crazy. But if you get hit enough times, just be like, all right.
Listen, bitch.
Listen, morsel. I'm gonna let you in on a really easy secret.
So let's put the restriction on it that it's once a day, and once you reach half blood, you transform back.
And once I
To reach half of your overall HP.
Yeah. So
Okay.
when you get to
So, like-
five hit points, is that
yeah.
okay?
So, okay.
Because
It's like a shifter thing. When you reach a certain level of HP, then you go beast mode.
well,
Oh.
and the thing is she can bite people to take in that blood to keep her above that. You know what I mean? With a D6, it's going to be really hard to get back down below.
Okay. So I can only do it once a day, and once I hit 5 hit points.
You transform back. Yep.
Would her side effects be like a frenzy attack, like friendly fire?
She, let's say no. That's
Okay.
I like that, but I think that's a big enough restriction.
Mhm.
Most things are going to be D6 damage in the game, except for big things might be a D10 or whatever.
Mhm.
But she's got 3 armor to begin with, so I think the unleash, and we'll play it and see. So I think that works out pretty good. Okay, crack shot, and it's once per scene, right? Is that what we said?
Once per scene for crack shot.
Okay. All right. What else you got there, detective?
Because you have your
Sorry.
right.
What else have I got? All right. So
The
I've got
assess
sight.
the scene kind of thing. Didn't you say you wanted some of that?
I've got sight. I've got hit the streets. I've got crack shot. So the last thing
Oh, wait,
should
no, that was the
probably
other-
be. Let's make it something. Let's make it like a knowledge-based thing on the supernatural, because
Okay.
I've done like research on all these guys. This is how I know, like to keep silver bullets on hand, or maybe it's always be prepared.
Oh, I was going to say, know thy enemy.
Mm.
Ooh,
Does that work?
That sounds more foreboding. I like it.
I do like that. I like the idea that I carry around a briefcase and then I can pop it open and just like have, like stakes and silver bullets.
So-
That vampire hunter briefcase.
What we're gonna down in your equipment, put Monster Hunter briefcase, and it has 5 uses.
Okay.
So you don't have to list all that crap individually. You just go, I reach in my case and grab holy water, whoosh, and take off 1 use of it.
Alrighty. Monster Hunter briefcase, 5 uses, and the ability is know thy enemy. What is the mechanical
I
effect of know
think
thy enemy?
intelligence, right? That sounds about right.
Yeah, that would be a very intelligent thing, because you'd have to know various species and be like,
So,
To use.
holy water works against this, but not against that.
so brains.
Okay. So roll with advantage.
Know thy enemy. It's a brains roll, and let's go re-roll.
Reroll for int checks to recall information on supernatural enemies. All right. Well, I'm set to go.
All right. Start thinking about other items you would have. You know. And your crack shot is once per scene, but it is a D8 damage.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh. I gotta go find another die.
What's the pistol damage?
D6.
D6. Okay.
What would the I don't drink wine also be a D6? Because it would count kind of like a bite attack as well.
It's a D4.
D4, okay. So like count damage if I don't drink
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah. Well, if you do I don't drink wine on something, you are taking their life from them. But most humans are going to have 8 to 10 hit points, and you would know if you're going to kill them or not.
Okay.
So you can choose not to if you'd like.
Okay. So would the damage be just whatever I take from them?
Right. Or if
Okay.
you do it as an attack, you can do a D4. So if it's an unwilling victim, then you have to roll the D4, and that's how much you get.
Okay.
Because you're like fighting with them or latched onto them type thing, so it becomes random. But if it's just one of your thralls, you're like, oh, I haven't drank from you in a few days, I take 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. And so I think we're on to Hazel. What's up, Hazel? You
What's
got
good?
object reading.
I have object reading so far. One of the others that I thought about was astral projection.
Ooh.
That's pretty fucking cool.
So that way I could keep track on my boyfriend who was fighting in the war.
Oh.
ahead.
Why are the Harker sisters' life so sad?
Because we're Harkers, damn it. That's what
And
we
why-
signed up for.
They wouldn't be monster hunters if their life wasn't sad.
It's
They'd
true.
be happy and be going, to speakeasies.
Yeah, he's totally dead. I'm just gonna say that my boyfriend totally died in the war. So astral projection as an ability, but astral projection means that my spirit leaves my body, so I feel like just having like
A corpse lay
useless
there.
ass body lying around.
Yes, and so that's the bad part about it. It is based on Moxie,
Okay.
and
I'm switching my Moxie and my Charm scores because I wasn't.
okay,
Charm is still second in my
okay,
abilities.
all right. Well, and base a skill on charm here,
Yeah.
or a power. So the astral projection, again, we'll play with it as we go. If you fail at it, I get to make a move, and so on and so forth, just like Dungeon World or the lake, Woodland Lake.
Awesome. So I have object reading, astral projection. With my sister being a crack shot, my first thought for an ability was yelling pull, and being able to like move an object up in the air for her to like clay pigeon shoot, basically.
So not a levitate.
It's more of like a push or a
Telekinesis?
shove, like a distance.
Telekinesis.
Yeah, like a telekinesis push shove.
Okay.
But it's not
Um,
like it's not like a controlled thing where I can lift stuff and maneuver it as I see fit. It's legitimately just force push, force
Okay.
pull, and like really hope I catch it afterwards. My agility's not that great. I don't catch many things.
You should name it Puts Beer Down, Watch This.
I'm doing it.
All right.
Or just watch this.
I like
Watch
this.
this.
I'm fine with that being based on Moxie as well.
One trick pony. All right.
Yep.
It's all good. I got one job in this team. And
And god damn it, I'm gonna do it right.
So my fourth ability, contact the spirits.
ooh, okay.
And like, I don't mind the fact that my boyfriend died in the war. He and I can still hang out, but like, he's totally dead. I know that, but like, me and the ghost
You gonna
hang out
have a
on
ghost girlfriend and a ghost boyfriend?
I have an aesthetic, and they're dead.
Um,
Oh, no, don't say that to anyone.
let's call it speak to specters.
Could also be just a seance.
You want that?
Yeah, I mean
It's all good by me.
typically like people would have like seance parties and shit like that in the 20s.
That's
So like,
true.
Mhm.
but my seances are sincere.
Right. How do you spell seance?
SEANCE.
Why?
NCE.
Like Beyonce?
Seance.
Yes, it's a seance.
Beyonce.
Basically.
And that I feel would be using my charm more than
Perfect.
my moxie.
That sounds great.
Gather around, everybody. We're gonna have a bounce.
We're gonna have a beance.
All right.
So yeah, those are
Uno,
mine.
dos, tres, cuatro.
And then because I can go into the astral plane, I'm assuming, to project myself, do I have the sight, or is this just like, I know ghosts and stuff are real, but like if you
Ghosts
tell
are
me that
fun.
fae and vampire are real, then it's kind of a far-fetched idea.
I'm gonna say,
Or do I just
Well-
believe it but I can't see it?
Maybe you only have the sight whilst astral projecting.
yeah.
I like it.
Let's say that. So
So
astral
you could
project.
step beyond the veil.
The downside could be just like your body's just up for grabs.
Yeah, it's just hanging out. Just
Veil
empty.
walker.
It's like that's how Insidious started.
Yeah.
It's the
What's
whole
cool about that is that you could even step behind the Iron Curtain.
Oh wait. There.
There's an alternate universe version of this where it's set during the Cold War and you're a spy.
I would love to be a cute spy.
All right, so let's give everybody a couple of objects, and we can get rolling because that'll give us like 1 or 2 scenes, the introduction, and then break, right?
Yeah.
About a half an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so Detective Harkin, you have a briefcase. You obviously have a gun, and what's your gun's name? Does your gun have a
38
name?
revolver.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right. I thought it might be some like stupid hand cannon because you're working, you're fighting monsters. So, but nope. 38 revolver's great. You just know where to shoot them. That's why you're a crack shot. So that normally it would do a D6, but you're like, nuh-uh, right in the knee because you're a werewolf or whatever.
Everybody knows that werewolves can't take you in the knee.
My trick knee.
I used to be a werewolf, but then I took a 38 slug to the knee. So, all right. And I saw a question I can never pronounce.
Kawaii dere dere.
Yeah, give the dyslexic that to say. Generally, when I run stuff, it swings between hilarity and horrible super gore. So there will be this big pendulum swing, and anybody here who does not like super gore, or if I get gory on you, just X card, flag.
Use a luck point to make it way less gory.
No, well, you don't even have to. I like safety rules, so generally, the scene goes. Say something like the scene goes dark, or pull the curtain, something like that, and then we'll just move on past it. If it's something that you never want to see again, then just say, "Can we not?" or something along those lines, and we will drop it and not come back to it. I know I personally have trouble with in role play games when stuff happens to children, for I have children, and so that's when I'll call that. So yeah, and if everything's okay, you don't have to do anything. So you got a gun, you got a briefcase. Is there anything else Detective Harkin has?
a badge that doesn't work anymore.
No.
A decommissioned badge.
Aw.
No, I had to hand in my badge
Right.
and my gun.
You got a new gun.
Where'd I get it? I got a new gun.
Hey, this is America. I'm sure you could get a gun.
This is the
Isn't
20s.
it during like the alcohol ban, so like everything is able to you could just sneak it in.
Right.
I
And we
don't
can-
know. I've got everything I need. I've got a gun and I've got a briefcase full of all of my
That's all
worst
you need in
enemies'
life.
weaknesses.
So, all right, think on it for a minute. Hazel, what do you have?
Hazel probably has some money.
Okay. right.
Fuck.
Hazel, you have some money, which your sister does not. Let's give you.
Do I own the business, but she runs the operation and I'm just the secretary, but like I own the building?
Well, but I think it's not only that, but it's more that you take care of the money because
okay.
maybe she can't. You know, she just is like whatever, and throws money around, and so
You're the
you're
one
like,
that keeps this operation going.
Yeah.
We can't keep
No,
buying
I
bottles
think
of
that-
whiskey. You know that stuff's illegal.
yeah. So I'm gonna give you. We'll just call it, 5 money, and we'll use that as we go. When you want to buy something, we'll make a roll, and you might not lose any of it.
Awesome.
Like literally, I'll be like, oh, you're getting a soda from the,
it's
from
like
the
a nickel. I have
Well,
so much money.
and that's what I'm saying is you're getting a soda, roll charm. Okay, it doesn't cost you any money. Oh, you failed, you lose 1 money. That kind of thing.
Okay.
Soda pop
Like a
boys,
resources
money.
roll.
Yeah.
Have you ever? Okay, I was gonna say you played in games that. So that's what it is. It's 5 resource.
Okay.
like 5.
I'm totally down with writing down 5 money.
Yep.
I don't think I'm not like a backpack kind of person. I might have a small purse. Like
Perfect.
just like a little, like not like a bag one, but just like
Mm-hmm.
the little open and shut purse, like an envelope sized one.
Like the
So-
little coin purse.
Yeah, like the little coin purse.
Okay, so we're gonna
Oh, you are
we're
a
gonna
future grandma.
we're gonna make your purse like the bag. If you need something, you have 1 use in the purse. So like you're like, oh, if only we had a piece of glass. Oh, my compact in the purse.
Yes.
And then it'll be used up, and then you'll have to replace it. You'll have to refill your purse.
I have a one-time
If
use
only I
Monster
had some
Hunter's
sort
pack.
of weapon. Oh, my Tommy gun. And then just pulls it out.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. In Dungeon World, you have an adventurer's pack, and you literally are like, I need a ladder, if your DM's a little silly. Okay. Isn't that 3 things?
That's 2, because I have 5.
Oh.
I have 5 monies and then 1 monster hunting purse.
Or anything. Like, I need a bobby pin to open this lock.
Oh my god, it's a utila purse.
Yes, with 1 use.
Yes, it's a 1-use utila purse.
I think of it like Daphne from Scooby Doo. Did you see the live action like Scooby Doo?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know how she has like the nose strips that she takes out of her back and like her dust, and they get out of the cage. That's how I think about it.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be that. Then the other thing I think I would have is a lighter. I don't smoke, but maybe it was my boyfriend's.
Okay. Or a lot of
A lot of
All
people
through-
smoked. In the
I
club.
definitely.
I carried a lighter all through like high school and college, just so I could be like, oh yeah, dude, I got you.
It's an easy way to make friends.
Mm-hmm.
1 lighter, military.
All right. GI issue.
Yes, and those are my 3. Those are my things. Is a purse, some money, and a lighter.
A lighter. All right, Lilith, Beltane, you have a car.
I do.
In your
Okay.
pocket.
In my pocket.
So
You're a fae. You might.
yeah.
Hold on. I need to get to my car. Which one? Oh, the tank.
The tank.
I mean,
So-
like you could just have like a beetle, an actual beetle in your pocket that you can turn into a car.
Just throw it on the
Yeah.
ground.
It's
An
it's a
actual
Volkswagen Bug.
Oh no.
RJ would be so happy right now.
What?
It's a Volkswagen Bug.
Bug, yeah. So you have a car,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll let you ordain what that car is like and whatnot. And then you said you had a gun, right?
Yes. Yes.
and a third thing that you have.
Either mistletoe/wolfsbane,
Okay.
because I'm a superstitious little fuck, or a Rowan woven bracelet I'm unable to wear because Rowan, in Scottish folklore, kept away the fairies.
All right. So if you want to pick a specific item, we'll give it some stats or a specific power, or you could just kind of put, Fey repeller or some kind of repellent, and then so many uses of it.
Probably wouldn't want to repel my own people, so probably wolfsbane/mistletoe.
Okay.
We could just call it like a bag of trinkets, and it's just like various Fey shit that you can pull out.
Yeah, it's like, do you want a bracelet? Do you want wolfsbane? I got berries. I got fey berries.
I
So
don't know how old they are, but
Still good.
go ahead and give yourself like a medicine bag or something like that. A bag of trinkets. I liked the sound of that. And let's go ahead and give that 3 uses.
Okay.
And
The gun is named Salin, and the car is Tatiana.
nice. Nice. All right. That leaves us with our friendly neighborhood vampire.
the only thing I wrote down, and I think I wrote it down like 3 hours ago, was parasol.
Okay. Very good idea. That's amazing. All right. Yep. Parasol, good item for you.
Don't really want to burn up
Mm-hmm.
these things, guys. I have no idea. I mean, I could have like kind of like a flask of like blood, as like I can regain like 2 hit points in an emergency.
That sounds fantastic. Flask, right? That's what
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a flask.
A drinking, but it looks like a silver, drinking flask kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Flask of blood, 2 points. Sure. That sounds fantastic.
Would it be just one use?
Well, you could use 1 point at a time if you wanted to. So like, say you're like, I'm going to burn a point of blood this next round, or you burn a point of blood and you could drink one of the points.
So in total, the flask has 2 points of HP.
Correct. Yes. Effectively.
Perfect.
So a parasol, flask of blood. Do you have and or need money?
I mean, I'm a vampire, and I always assume old vampires have like old money,
Okay.
blood money.
Do you? Why don't we say that then? Why don't we just call it old money? And we'll use it like a resource.
Okay.
And
Hazel is like, I got 5
Gotcha.
monies, and then Lilith is like, oh, darling.
I have
That's
old money. So,
Paying all your bills with dusty dollars.
Yeah.
It's a little old.
it's a little old. That's from the Civil War. Okay, I think with that, I think we can play, right?
I think we can.
Yeah.
Oh, I decided on a hit flask, a pack of cigs, and some matches because I'm not fancy enough for a lighter.
All right.
I
Which
got
you
your
picked
light,
up for
sis.
free somewhere, the little box
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that
Exactly.
says,
It's a little like bar matches.
Yep. Borat.
Is alcoholism like something I can have in my inventory?
Alcoholism.
That's it. That's in my.
Your,
That's a
ability.
part of my equipment.
I would put that under like description or concept. Gritty detective who's down on their luck and an alcoholic.
This is the reason why my sister handles the money.
I would
Yes.
say it's in your abilities, and it's very similar to Hazel's astral projection, where you just like lay flat on the ground in a coma. You can't astral project, but it's the same.
There's no
This
bonus
is the
to
opening scene. You walk in and both the Hazel sisters are just passed out on the ground.
We're the
Oh,
Harkin sisters. I'm a
The
Hazel.
Hazel sisters. The Harkins sisters. That's us.
Private
Alright.
eyes.
Um,
We call that the Harkin Parkin. That's park on the ground.
I apologize in advance for like any and all vampire puns I will make because
Please do.
I'm gonna
That's
make a ton of fairy puns, so
I apologize for nothing.
You'll get no apology at all. Okay, so everybody's settled. All the things are there. My last thing, the thing I need from you all. Hazel,
Yes.
who's someone you know?
your dead boyfriend.
Can I, dead or alive?
Has to be someone that the DM can kill off. I mean, it has to be.
He's only mostly dead.
What do you say?
I
I
would say one of my schoolgirl chums.
okay.
One of your schoolgirl gal pals.
One of my gal pals.
And
Her name is Gertruda.
okay.
It's your friend Gertie.
No.
Hayes and Gertie on the scene again.
Oh God. Are you guys going to college?
No, higher education is not something.
women
that
just
is-
got the rights. So yes.
It's a wild adventure.
Okay.
We're
And
just
it's
having
your-
some fun.
And it is your school chum.
The 20s were Prohibition era, which has nothing to do with college.
All right. Gertruda, Gertie, and she is your school chum. Detective Harkin, who do you know that the DM can threaten someone you know.
I want to say my old police partner.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Smith, Detective Smith.
All right.
JJ Smith.
And he's kind of aware of like the whole supernatural thing. He doesn't entirely buy into it. He's good for getting some information or calling in a favor every now and then, but
Yep.
for the most part, he's a little too above board for my line of work.
That's right. All right. He's too old for this shit.
It's 2 weeks from retirement.
I meant that's right.
Always.
And that's why he's gonna get killed. All right. Beltane, who do you know who is around?
I would say a very old friend of mine. He's from the Court of Light, where I'm from the Court of Night. His name is Buxton, and he's like a fawn. We
Ooh.
both got expelled about the same time.
Okay.
Being mischievous.
You're so
Alright.
good at coming up with stories. I love this so much.
I'm more invested in this character than I am in my own.
The moment Beltane was created, I was like, I love him and I will protect him with my life.
You're
That's what the
unlife.
Fae want you
Thank
to
you.
think. They're
I
beautiful.
just imagine them having this kind of relationship like, I would die for you. Not if I die first.
I think it'll be like, you're already dead, ma'am.
Then my job is
It's that-
done.
It's that one comic where like the two people keep on trying to jump in front of each other and they're folding.
And Lilith, who do you know who is Robin,
wife?
boy hostage?
My voice.
Alive.
Your wife is already out, effectively out of the story for now. So this has to be someone you can contact, or that I can have contact you.
You could have your favorite meal.
Your thrall, a thrall of yours.
Ooh.
So what is her, their name? Oh,
Her name is Bonnie.
okay.
Does she have a friend named Clyde?
As luck would have it.
Well, now you say.
I don't know. For some reason, I got in my head that Steven's character is named Bonnie, so I just kept that name.
All right.
Is this person in your blood bank?
Yeah, favorite thrall.
Call them over for a drink every now and then?
Yeah. She has some nice conversations. She gets around town. Gets me off the gossip.
All
Maybe
right.
she's like a throw/informant.
Maybe.
There we go.
All right, and I am going to bold all of these names so that my old eyes can pick them out on the sheet. And bold. Detective Smith. Dead. Oh.
Dead.
No, I can't
Parentheses.
lose another one.
Whoops.
All right. I wrote a Dungeon World hack that's a zombie game, and in it you have what are called strays. So there's always a few around that are like, you know, those periphery people who get eaten by the zombies constantly, and so that's kind of where we're going with these guys. Contacts and threats. So okay, so our scene opens, and I really wanted to pull the desk lamp over and turn off all my lights and just have this one desk lamp beaming in on me, but I did not have the time. It starts foggy night. Off in the distance of the port, we hear the boom of the foghorn. The fog is thick, very, very pea soupy. If it was full daylight, Lilith, you would not even have your parasol out. But it is dark. It's after dinner. We see the street lights are barely putting beams through this heavy fog, and a fantastic car pulls up in front of a kind of pseudo dilapidated building, and on the door of the building it says Harkin Sisters Detective. Beltane, you pulled up to the building with your mistress in the car. What do you do?
I get out and put on my flat cap, adjust my coat, and go to the car door and open it and give a small bow to her as I gesture towards the building.
I love it so much.
Okay, Lilith, what are you doing? And so in any of these apocalypse games, I'm just going to say, what do you do? And there's no turns or initiatives until stuff is happening. And then sometimes I'll just kind of make sure everybody does stuff. Otherwise, you guys just sort of say what's going on. And as I feel things stop, I'll either make something happen or I'll say, what do you do? So Lilith.
I get out. I take Beltane's hand and get out. And I'll look around and look back at Beltane and ask, are you sure this is the right place?
Detective Harker is one of the best. Even though she and I may have clashed in the past, I honor her reputation. This is my truth. I give it to you freely, madam.
Well, you have given me no reason to doubt you in the past. I'll trust you. Let's go.
And Beltane, if I say something that your character wouldn't do in little story exposition, just let me know. But Beltane opens the door, Lilith enters. There's a stairwell leading up to the office. The stairs are, creaky. Though with your vampire dexterity, you as soon as it starts to creak, you just move your foot a little bit, and you enter. Both of you enter almost silently. The only thing that gives any warning that you're coming is there is a bell that rings when the door opens, because paranoid detective. You reach the top of the stairs, the landing, and one side says, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, lawyers, and the other side says Harkin sisters, detectives.
Okay.
I love our neighbors.
Now, Harkin sisters, you have heard your bell sound. You know the lawyers are gone for the day, so you assume this has to be for you.
I will probably pick my head up off of the desk and arrange papers very quickly.
I'm in the back asleep, my hat down over my head.
We were both napping.
Good thing you had that bell, or it could be werewolf time.
It's the nap bell more than anything. It's just people are coming.
The bell is like
You have like a paper stuck.
the bell is painted with a very thin veneer of real silver, so the werewolves can't claw it off the wall.
Just enough.
All right, so you're outside the door, Beltane and Lilith. What do you do?
I take off my hat and knock before I open the door and let my mistress in first. I don't wait for an invite.
And Lilith, what does Hazel see? What do you look like physically?
I'm so bad at description. So again, literally 1920s Morticia Adams.
Okay.
And she has she has dark, black, long, those opera gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And she also has those long cigarette holders.
Okay. All right.
She's very classy.
You can
just
smoke wherever. It's the 20s.
Morticia Adams just dress, tight-fitting
Yeah.
black dress.
Yeah, all black.
Okay.
That's my brand. And she doesn't have her hat because it's nighttime. So.
Okay.
But she does have kind of her parasol to the side, just because she always has it on hand.
Okay.
So that's what Hazel sees when I go in.
What do you do, Hazel?
Hello. Just a moment, please. And I'll get up and kind of let myself into the back after. Just please take a seat anywhere.
She looks around and she just stands.
I shut the door behind us and stand behind Lilith.
Yeah, and I'll. Is there a back room that separates where my sister is and I?
Yeah. There's there's clouded glass.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say.
I'm definitely gonna go into the back and shake you awake and be like, "All right, Game Face, we have people that we need to talk to."
Oh, what? Huh? She's she hasn't got her coat on or anything. Her tie is all disheveled.
I just imagine Lilith hearing this with her vampire hair, and she's just like...
She hasn't got her face on.
The one wearing all black looks really, really good. She probably comes from a lot of money. This could be the turnaround we've been waiting for.
Oh, well, send them in. Give me just a second though. She'll rub her face, put on some lipstick real quick.
And then as I'm about to open up the door, I just look over at you, give you a wink, and just, "You look great." And then open it back up, and just say to the other two, Detective Harkin will see you in a brief moment. Would you mind if I got a brief description of your case?
Of course. And Lilith's gonna walk up to you. Are you at your desk?
Yeah, I'll have gone back and sat down at my desk.
Because she's super goth, she has sunglasses at night.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's say vampire eye color is like different. So
All right.
Sure.
I mean, there's the veil, so there's no reason for this, but aesthetic.
All right.
So she'll kind of bend down to you and just go like, "Well, aren't you a darling?" And she'll look over at Belton's like, "Why, you didn't tell me she looked sorry, you didn't tell me she was absolutely delectable."
I wanted to surprise you, mistress.
And she'll like she'll put her sunglasses back up and she'll sit across the desk with like her cigarette. I don't have
Her long
cigarette
cigarette.
holder.
Yeah.
Like this and like cross her legs, and she's like, "My wife is missing and I need someone to help."
Okay. Do you know the last whereabouts of the missing persons?
My house.
Okay, that makes things a little bit easier. When was the last time you saw them?
About 2 days ago, morning time.
Okay. And then you are aware of our rates, correct?
Darling, I can assure you the rates are not a problem.
It's 50 cents a day, but if you want to go for the whole week, well, that's going to be a solid $5.
I take some money out of my pocket, place it on the desk. Money that Lilith had given me beforehand.
Yep.
Yeah, we share the old money. I don't have to hand out my
20.
own money.
Right. Exactly.
You pay for
this,
somebody.
please.
Yeah,
That's
she'll just go like
$50.
that.
It's what?
It's $50. The mistress and I expect you to be discreet.
Just one moment, please. And I'll take the papers that I have and take the small stack of money. Or I won't. I'll leave it in front of you because honest business practice. And then I will open up the door, go into the back. And both of you here, probably not very hushed. $50!
She like falls out of her chair. There's a commotion in the back.
Then
Lilith looks at Beltane and she's like, kind of like, "I'm fucking trusting you with this." Like,
He just shrugs and smiles.
Yeah, there's a brief commotion in the back and like a whispered conversation, and then the door opens and there's Detective Harkin in all her disheveled glory.
Hey there, detective. Been
Does-
a while.
Sorry.
Well, that explains
Har-
the pretty penny.
Harkin, can you give us a description for me and for said chat and stuff? I mean, you said disheveled,
absolutely.
but what do you wear?
All right. Well, Harkin right now is wearing a dress shirt and a tie and some suspenders, and she's got her trench coat just over her shoulder, like she was ready to go if she had to, Call of Duty and all that. She has like tightly curled blonde hair, just like the 1920s style, just like smack dab on her head like a helmet, and she's got some like hastily applied, though expertly yet hastily applied, bright red lipstick.
Okay.
And she's wearing pants because that's the kind of person she is. And
Right.
she comes out and her hair is a little mussed, and then she looks upon Beltane Hawthorne and recognizes him from the good old days. She's like, "Hawthorne, well, that explains the pretty penny."
How you doing, detective?
As well as I can be expected to. And she kind of like looks Lilith up and down and says, "You're a little long in the tooth, aren't you?"
I would advise not making fun of my mistress in front of me, detective.
"Oh, I don't make fun. I make observances.
And Harkin, you are across the desk from a vampire.
That's exactly what she's saying.
Okay.
She's a what?
No, she didn't say it out
I
loud.
know.
But she can see, it's like some kind of dark aura or some sign that this is a vampire.
It's the eye color.
Yeah.
No, I'm still wearing
hey,
my sunglasses. No.
Sis, you say she's looking for a missing wife?
Yep, that's what they said.
So the two of you see the same dentist?
It's
So look up
$50
that
for this
box.
week.
I'm not turning down the job. I'm just asking. I need to know what I'm working with here.
We do not. But we are from beyond the veil. She says it like like I've heard this so many times.
Yeah. Huh. All right. Well, it seems like you came to the right place.
I'm doubting it.
Please have a seat.
She's already sitting down.
I think that would
Enjoy the seat.
I think that'll be a great time to go into our first break of the evening as well. So I want to say thank you, GB, for putting together this urban fantasy noir. I love so much. I need it, and we are going to be getting as much as we probably can't take. We'll want more always. In a good 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or maybe, perchance, grab yourself some sweet merch from the Indoor Adventure Store at bit.ly/indoor merch. You can get all sorts of fun stuff, including shirts, posters, mugs, sweatshirts, crop tops, and if you want to see what one of those crop tops looks like, I am going to be placing an order in for one here pretty soon. So that's right, belly button to Gen Con. That's what you're all getting. So
I already said I would do it too. So
oh yeah, Gen Con is about to get hot. So we will.
Pictures.
It'll be on
Please
Twitter.
send pictures.
It'll be on Twitter. Yes, which you can find at Indoor. What the fuck? That is the place where you can find me. So, again, 5 to 10 minutes. We will try and be back shortly, and then we can kick off where we last left it. So, we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. Bye-bye! We did it! Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I don't know why my voice shot to that inflection to start things off, but hey, guys, how goes? Welcome. So, we are picking up where I believe we are in the midst of talking at our office with over a lot of money, a whole $50. This is life-changing money.
A slow ceiling fan spins. Everything but the characters, small parts of the characters, are almost gray. Like maybe lipstick is got real color to it, but everything else is kind of washed out. The smell of old cigarettes being covered up by small little pot of burning potpourri is there in one corner. These massive file cabinets where old cases have been kept. Hazel, do you keep the front office semi-neat and clean? All right. So
I mean, with our current job history, it's not like I have really much else to do.
Okay. So the scene opens again. The Lilith, the vampire, is sort of lounging in the chair with her cigarettes. Detective Harkin, did you sit down at the desk, or are you standing behind the desk?
I'll go ahead and take a seat.
Okay. And so then, Hazel, are you just standing?
Yep.
Okay.
I will go to the desk in the back and start sorting out the paperwork there.
All right.
This is the only time she gets let back in there.
Yep, my sister has commandeered my desk, so I need a writing space.
This is my chance to get rid of, food wrappers and, wax paper from sandwiches and that kind of thing.
Cigarette butts.
Yeah, I'm mostly cleaning and not as much working on papers.
Ashtray of just mounded open. All right. Beltane, are you just standing like at the door or directly behind your mistress or
Behind my mistress because it's my job.
all
I
right.
stand as close as possible to her to protect her.
Okay. So then, like I said, we come back in sort of high, see the ceiling fan spinning the grayness of everything. Through the doorway is Hazel. Back to Detective Harkin. What do you do?
So listen, if you don't like my methods, you are free to peruse the offerings of any of my competitors. I believe their names are Jack Squat and Zippy Nils. So you're going to have to, you're kind of stuck with me, is what I'm saying. We're kind of stuck with each other. Hawthorne, do you happen to, you're still doing your old job, aren't you? In the same line of work?
That's up to you to figure out, Dollface.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you guys understand how this works, but you give me information and then I fill in the blanks for you.
I gave your assistant enough information.
Hazel, what'd she tell you?
I was going to say, when you look down, you see that she has filled out the preliminary form, and it said, the missing persons, and Rosie.
I imagine there's a picture of her as well.
Did you bring a picture, Lilith?
Yeah, she carries a picture of her wife in her purse.
Okay, now,
yeah.
Is it a picture of her true form or what people see through the veil?
Would I be able to see through the veil?
In a photograph, I'm going to say yes. No, I'm going to say yes, it would.
Okay.
But it's up to her because obviously the monsters have figured out how to take pictures where people can't, they don't see through the veil. So...
Okay.
It's a picture that if you have the sight, you can totally see her as she is. And if you don't, you just see her as a big buff human.
And what does she look like in her unveiled form?
She's wearing a suit. She's like a nice fitted suit. And she has her hair. She has light light brown hair, kind of like slicked back, but then it falls into the back. And she has like two, not massive, but two like medium-sized tusks coming from her mouth. Okay. And she's like kind of like this, like holding her jacket, and like buttons, and she's just looking off like that, and very
classic, very classic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would I be able to recognize her as a mob boss, as the boss of the supernatural mob?
Yeah, hit the streets. Let's make a Moxie roll. First roll of the game.
And it's Moxie, the best skill.
This is the one where I have a third die. Oh, okay. That's a 6 and a 5, which makes it 11. Plus my Moxie, which is 13.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you were like that Rosie.
Does she have like a nickname on the streets or something? Like
Rosie the Riveter.
Because she'll pump you full of holes.
I mean, sure.
There's some kind of joke.
Inside joke.
This here's Rosie the Riveter.
Yes. And?
Ooh. All right. That explains more things. Well then. She puts on her poker face, which is to say she starts sweating bullets.
And it's the alcohol sweats too. Like it's not the good kind.
Like rum or like whiskey.
I would ask if you knew anyone who might have something against her, or might want to see her harmed. But I feel like that point is kind of moot at this point.
Maybe you're smart.
All right.
And Lilith, you are able to name a couple of the like other mobsters that are out there. Does your organization have any supernatural enemies?
I would say probably, because being supernatural ourselves, we would deal in both human and supernatural issues,
Okay.
or like areas.
Now, is it a group or a powerful being?
We are a group. We're a head of the house, which is it's me, but Rosie's the face. Nobody knows about me. This is why
Yep.
our detective didn't know me.
Exactly.
Still don't know that. And we have our underlings and people who work for us. And I would say that being that we work both in human and supernatural areas,
Mm-hmm.
it makes us, that's why we're more powerful, because there's not many that deal in both, because humans will mostly not know, and supernatural will try to keep to their own business.
Yeah.
So there
So,
are many
Okay.
enemies.
but is there like there's a dragon turtle that lives in the harbor, and blah blah blah, and they're the one who like a powerful enemy like that, or is it a beholder lives under the streets, or
Is it the dog father?
I'll lean down to the mistress and say, what about Don Bad Wolf? I mean, he was pretty upset that I stole Goldie's territory last week.
Stole. That was taken fair and square. But he was upset. You could put him down on the list of suspects.
so the dog father and Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
I just have a question. Is Don his first name or the title?
No, it's Biggie.
No, that's the title.
I know, but
Yeah,
like I like to also imagine his name's like Don Big Wolf and he's the dog father.
Okay, and I
Wait,
totally
is this all the same person?
That's what I was thinking.
I totally misread it. I heard it too. I heard dog father, so I thought that it was a pack of werewolves led by.
That's
That-
what, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the dog father.
Okay,
Werewolves now.
all right, the dog father, and it's led by Bad
Don Biggie Bad Wolf.
This keeps on changing every time you say it.
I like
Don Biggie Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
Don Biggie Bad Wolf, the dog father.
Yep. Okay.
Full
Okay.
name.
We muscled into Fifth Avenue and stole a bit of territory.
All right. I'll note that down.
We're indoors dying.
Get it together, Hazel.
Exactly. Walk back there. Oh, this is the 20s. Oh.
I was gonna say, if possible, while in the back, as like I don't know what customers these are. I know that they're kind of weird. Would I be able to have like a small seance going on in the back room so that way I can get information about like potentially where Rosie might be being held or anything like that, so that way I can be like, I heard a good lead about this later on.
Sure, let
I don't
us
wanna-
go ahead.
Give it away to my sister just yet. She has to like
Okay.
go through some of the steps of being an investigator. If she knew that I could do this all the time, then she would just do nothing and collect revenue.
Exactly.
So, what is we're gonna say that you need to pick someone, something. You got to make it more specific to have to do this seance.
Maybe you need something that belongs to that person.
Okay. I feel like that's an appropriate thing to have, but I don't have anything that belongs to that person.
You're like
So-
a bloodhound.
So, do you want to just contact any old spirit that's nearby?
Oh gods, no! That sounds like such a terrible idea.
All right. So you put that out of your mind.
Yeah, I put that out of my mind, and once I'm finished kind of sorting things away in the back, I'll come out to the front and just kind of like wait patiently. Because it seems like they're having a conversation about stuff, and it's like, I don't know what that is.
I'm just writing like an ever elongating list of enemies that could have like it's just
She's updating.
rolling
she's updating the list
off
again.
of my notebook like ticker tape. Just
All right. So, do you then agree when you're going to meet again, or are you going together somewhere, or how are you going to work this, detective?
Well, Lilith wants to like make a statement first.
Oh, please do.
She goes, so, as you so clearly and nicely put it, you are the only one I can use for this, unfortunately. But I believe you may need me as much as I need you. Clearly, you're not in the best of situations. Am I wrong?
she just quirks an eyebrow.
I can help with that. Many things. Keep your business going, relocate you somewhere better.
I can see you might have a vested interest in this particular case,
Yes.
but I warn you, I take garlic in my coffee.
Good for you, darling.
And Harkin, you also know that Beltane has an awesome car, so you wouldn't have to try to catch a train or a bus or a trolley or a cart, or you wouldn't have to flat-foot it. So maybe that might be an advantage too.
What kind of car does Beltane have?
Oh, it's a very classic 1920s. They know those very art deco kind of car.
It's
Yeah.
like
Very-
the best of the best in the 1920s.
Yeah. Something Al Capone would definitely drive.
Does it have the
Perhaps
suicide
something.
doors?
Yeah.
And is it like Munster carriaged out kind of, where it's like square and choppy, but it almost looks like either a hearse or a coffin kind of thing? Or is this your car and it has a different
This-
aesthetic?
This is my car. Tatiana is a lady and she'll be treated to as the best degree. She is classic car 1920s all the way.
Mentally, I'm
She
picturing
has
like
best
Rolls
of the
Royce
best.
style, but instead it's like that pearlescent white color that has just like gems inlaid on the side. Like it just looks way too fancy to be the 20s. Like the Depression is going to hit pretty soon.
Pure Rockefeller car.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
The Rockefellers wish they had this car.
Yes.
You still got that swanky ride?
Of course I do.
Hey sis,
Yeah?
how do you feel about doing a little visit?
What kind of visit? Like to their place or?
You know, to do a little.
Oh. Yeah, I'd be able to do something like that. You said that this was your wife?
Yes,
So you have something of hers.
I do.
Do you have anything of hers on you?
Yes. And she'll look into her purse and she'll come out with like a cigarette case, but like those really fancy ones, like the metal ones.
Yeah.
And she'll like hand it over, and it's like it's not silver or anything that would hurt me or anything, but it's just really nice metal and like engraved with like whatever logo or crest we have.
Nice.
And like she'll hand it over to you.
And Lilith, are you an old vampire, or are you a child of this era? You know, a roaring 20s person who has become a vampire.
When were you turned?
Yeah. That's what I'm asking.
I was turned a while ago.
Okay, more than 100 years, or are you a child of the at least industrial revolution? Like, you know, are you Lestat or you know? Oh my God, I can't think. Brad Pitt.
It's
Totes Brad Pitt.
let's go with Brad Pitt.
Good choice.
This is a group character.
No.
Sorry, no, it is yours.
Be as old as you want.
I'm so fine with like having you guys like help. This makes me really happy.
Okay, so you have transitioned well and stuff. You're not stuck in old ways. Like, I want harpsichord music, you know. And
No, like, I transition pretty well.
okay, good. Okay, so then Harkin, what lead do you want to go with them? Oh no, you wanted Hazel to do a little spooks wandering. So okay, Hazel.
So it's going to be more effective if we all are in a circle and everyone holds hands. Specifically you. And she'll motion towards Lilith. And just say, she was close to you, so that means that you have the strongest pull towards her spirit.
She'll kind of look around, like she'll look at the detective, and then she'll look at Beltane, and she'll stand up and put herself between Hazel and Beltane. She'll like put out her cigarette, but like on the desk.
Yeah, when you look at Harkin, she like puts out her hand to like, you know, hold hands with you, but she's got a holy symbol in her hand. She's like, oh, and puts that back in her pocket.
Old habits.
I'll ask, what time of year it's it? Because it matters to Beltane.
Let's say it's fall, and hence the weird weather and the fog is not too out of place, and the veil is getting thinner as we approach the sign I can't pronounce it. The All Hallows Eve.
Yeah, Samhain. Yes, okay. I'll turn to Hazel and say, you know how to do this properly, protection-wise?
And she'll just kind of like tilt her head and look at you and just...
Great, we're going to be calling
Tuesday.
ghoulies, we're going to be calling the demons. Yeah, that's great. Call the Travies, I don't care.
Well,
He
no,
takes
I mean,
the
if we're
hand.
just like, you know, careful about it and make sure that if we see
Oh,
anything
yeah.
spooky, we stop the connection, then we should be fine.
Something what? Something? Did you say spooky wookie?
Oh, I said something spooky, but I like the idea of me saying if we see something spooky wookie. I'm a 20s girl.
I will say if you invite a trow into our midst, I will be very disappointed.
I don't think I can because I don't know what that is.
They're fae folk.
Well, now I know what it is, so it could possibly happen, but don't worry.
Fantastic. It's going to eat all of our hearts out.
That's a lot to take in. Maybe you
Great.
should stay on the outside of this circle.
You're the one inviting it in, not me.
Are we going to do this or not? Don't have time to waste.
Hazel just...
Harkin's busy just like taking out holy symbols and taking off like iron rings and like braids of garlic and just like, it's like that scene in every movie where like the guy's taking out all of his weapons, only it's just a pile of like superstitious nonsense.
reaches in the Malarus Maleficarum, the hammer of witches. Okay, all right.
She's got a stake down her pant leg.
Exactly.
You can simplify all that with berries, like literal berries.
Like,
All of it.
Maybe you can.
I can. I
There you go.
have.
And then Harkin grabs his hand.
Okay. So the circle is formed. And who are you trying to call or contact, Hazel?
I have a. I'm gonna ask. I'll ask Lilith. So, was there anybody that your wife was close to who recently died, who may have, like, followed them a little bit too closely sometimes? Had, like, a hanging on kind of attitude where they would make sure they knew where the other person was at all times?
Might not hurt to check and see if, Rosie hasn't kicked the bucket. Save us all a lot of trouble.
That's very true.
So you're going to call out to Rosie?
I will call out to Rosie. And see if I get a response.
Okay. So let's go ahead and roll plus charm. So 2d6 plus charm.
That's an 8 total.
A partial success. So you reach out
Spooky
and
wookie.
spooky wookie. Flat floozy with the fly. Slim Gaylord, check him out sometime. He's got great 20s music. You reach out, and surprisingly, you touch Rosie's spirit, but she's not dead. She is in agony.
Oh, shit.
Agony. I mean, she is like, if she wasn't who she is, not that you would know this, but like your sister would understand. If she wasn't a half orc, she'd be dead. That's the kind of pain she's in.
She's really strong.
And that's why you can touch her spirit, because she would be dead if she was anyone else.
Do we all feel this, or is it just Hazel?
I imagine if we're all holding hands, it's kind of like a Tesla coil of emotion.
Sure. So that's what you get is the pain. And Beltane, it gets to your Fey powers or to form, and it dissipates a bit. You're not feeling the spirit as much because you are a being of spirit too. So you're a little bit immune to this pain. Lilith, also being a vampire, only your connection with Rosie is allowing you to feel this. Detective Harkin, you're like, and you know better than to let go because you've done this with your sister before, but oh my God, does it sting? So basically you're probably trying to crush Beltane's hand, and you're like not wanting to break your sister, so you're doing this kind of thing, where you're holding the flat part and just squeezing. Okay. How long are you going to try to hold on, Hazel? Are you going to try to speak to Rosie?
I will try and ask her where she is, if she knows.
Go ahead.
Any kind of like smell or landmark, anything distinctive that we can possibly use as a lead.
Okay. And because you had the partial success, that's why the pain transference is going around. So go ahead and give me one more roll. If it was a spirit, I would just let you talk back and forth, but she's not actually dead. So
oh boy, that's a 7.
okay.
Still partial
Again?
success.
Still partial success.
You cross that line and then into partial success. you get basically the response, the darkest part of hell, is what you hear. And with that, the pain is too much between or for your sister. You're not feeling it as much because you've done this before. But yeah, Detective Harkin, if you want to continue to hold on, let's have you make a either fortitude or moxie roll.
All right. Moxie for my sis. 8.
8. Okay, partial success. What we're gonna say is you actually end up taking a point of like physical damage, because it's so stressful on you. But your willpower,
like mental damage though, like a
sanity.
no, it's
nope,
the
actually physical. Okay.
Physical, yeah. It actually takes a point from you physically. You are basically you're exhausted because you're like, I am holding on. I'm not going to let go. And so you're
bleeding from the nose.
That kind of
Uncle
thing.
Fester's game at the arcades where you just have to get shocked for like 10 levels.
So you just hold on. Yeah. So Hazel, because the circle didn't get broken with your 7, your partial success, so you're still there. Do you want to do anything else? Ask any more questions? Try to get some detail?
Can I use a luck point?
Okay.
And in the moment, swap my consciousness with Rosie to try and like get a look around?
Yes, you may attempt this. You know it's dangerous.
You fucking masochist.
I might be your little sister, but I'm still my own woman.
Okay. So this is astral projection, which is Moxie. So go for it.
Dice don't fail me now. Why did I say these things?
Why must
I
you
got
curse
2.
Oh my god. Okay, so
That's what you get.
in the moment, the early 20s young lady in front of you goes, he's Lilith, I'm here, and you could tell it's Rosie. It's fucking Rosie in this 20-year-old's body.
Rosie?
Yeah.
Rosie, where are you?
Some kind of hell.
What do you mean some kind of hell?
It's a darkness, and it's hard for her to speak through Hazel, but yeah, that's what she says is some kind of darkness.
She'll go and like grab Hazel's like face,
Okay.
like as she would be grabbing her wives, and she's like, hey, do you know who took you? Do you know anything? Well,
What could they say? The gnome knows. The gnome knows. Go to the gnome. And you remember Rosie talking about a gnome one time, but it didn't sound like anything you wanted to bother with. But there can't be that many gnomes in town.
yeah.
Meanwhile, Hazel, do me a favor and roll me a D8.
Fucking whoops.
Yeah.
A D8, you say? That is this die. So yeah, gone forever. Yeah, I got a 2.
So you were astrally projected. You switched. the pain is mostly in Rosie's body, so you only take 2 points to your sanity.
Okay.
Take 2 damage to your sanity.
Not bad. Probably have had worse, but I'm a fighting girl.
Yeah. At least as far as astral projection goes.
Yeah.
Marcus of Queensberry rules. Yeah, but after you take that damage, you're back.
Can I do something? Like, if I
Sure,
can see that she's like leaving,
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna be like, I'll find you. I'll find you soon, and I'll make whoever did this pay. And she will kiss Rosie through Hazel.
Okay, and she after the kiss and the fade, is like, I knew you would, babe, and then gone.
All right, we ain't doing any of that shit ever again.
Yeah, you're like, oh, your hand is cramped, you're hurting. Hazel's like, oh, the nosebleed.
Comes back to consciousness in a kiss. I just got back from pain, so my immediate response is to just yell. So it goes from like being like "Mwah" to
Lilith will go, sorry, darling. And then she'll like leave, like put her hands off her. And then she'll go over to Beltane and be like, she's in so much pain. And she'll like throw herself at Beltane. Dramatically.
the Harkin sisters are like on the ground, just
Well, Harkin wouldn't let her sister just fall. She'll catch her and be like, what did I tell you? What did I tell you about doing that astral projection shit?
She's like, and I got vampire on my lips. Which I imagine
Also,
if all the movies
stay away
are
from my
true.
sister.
If the movies are true, you're like, I got vampire on my lips. All right. So you catch a detective. You catch Hazel, and Hazel, you're disoriented. Lilith have thrown yourself up at Beltane. What do you do now, or what's your next move?
I'll drop her into a chair and give her a handkerchief for her nose. So what we've learned from this situation is that this is definitely a supernatural thing. For sure.
Brilliant deduction.
And she's in some sort of hell. Now, if she's speaking in a literal sense, or, in a figurative sense, because I think that we can all agree that was hell.
just Hazel's like tilting her head back, just keeping the handkerchief in her nose.
And
Do I know of any fiendish situation going down in the city? Cults or
you're gonna have to hit the streets, detective.
devils.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. This is Port Klavrov. It's quite the den of supernatural activity.
All right, I'm hitting the streets.
All right. So you're literally going out there and driving around, or are you trying to remember or look up something in your files about the gnome?
Ooh, there's two of those things.
I wanted to see
think
if I could roll to know who the gnome was.
Sure.
I'm gonna do two of those things. I'm gonna look through all of my files and stuff like that, and whatever I don't find there, I'll call in a few favors.
Okay, Lilith, go ahead and hit us with an intelligence or a brains roll.
Brains.
2d6 plus brains.
8.
An 8. Okay, partial success. You know that the gnome is an information broker, supernatural not a snitch, but somebody who's learned. So that's really as best you can get out of that 8 without me having to impose some sort of penalty or such cost.
I will let the detective know what I know of this gnome, and maybe she knows where this gnome would be.
So, detective, I'm gonna give you either you can re-roll or you can either re-roll or roll with advantage. Take that extra die, and then pick the best 2. Which is it?
It's gonna be advantage.
More dice.
Advantage.
Okay.
More dice.
More
It's
dice.
always more dice.
I kind of figured. That's why I asked, though.
And I'm rolling with Moxie, yeah?
Correct.
All right, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10.
Aha!
Excellent. You know that the gnome, most likely the one they're speaking of, works in the library/museum.
Huh, all right.
Some kind of curator or such.
Okay, I'm gonna write down the address for that.
Okay.
And so what I'm gonna do is stand up and throw my trench coat on.
Okay.
Where are you going, detective?
The library.
You know, they'll see you coming a mile away.
Who's gonna care?
They'll care. They'll run. You're a cop.
I was a cop. Not so much anymore. Now I am a friend to all magical creatures.
Like, Lilith is gonna look over to the pile of like things you just put on her desk and be like,
I'm just gonna like, as my arm is out from saying all magical creatures, I will then take that arm to scoop all that stuff into my trench coat.
A briefcase?
Yeah, briefcase, yeah.
Nice. All right. So, on to the library.
is the library open this late?
Probably not.
If I used a luck point.
Every place is always open.
We could just wait till morning and like.
If I used a luck point,
can.
Could I say that the library itself is open until 8 p.m. at the latest?
How about if you use a luck point? I'll say there's an event at the museum, and hence
There's
you
a
could
gala.
enter the library. So spend that luck.
I will. I have 1 luck point left because I've been liberal with them.
It's Wyndham Lewis's art.
Nice. All right. I'm writing that down.
Okay.
He started an art movement between 1914 and 1960. Help
Yes.
modernize modern day music
That
art.
one.
Yes.
On my way out the door, I'm gonna stop one of my newsy friends and ask them to like ask around town about any like fiendish going on.
Okay.
I imagine that like half of the newsies are actual human children and the other half are goblins.
I can run with that.
That's so perfect.
It's the 2 goblins in a trench coat, guys.
It's the goblins in a trench coat that Steven wanted.
That's all I wanted was goblin newsies. No one wanted it.
Extra.
That'd be so cute.
But yeah,
Oh man. I gotta write these details down. 1 second. Half.
I was
I'll reach over to the detective and place a hand on her shoulder. You look like crap, Dollface. You gotta
Lilith
look
gonna-
nice going into museum.
Yeah, Lilith is gonna turn over and be like, they're not going to let you in like that.
First of all, rude. Second of all, I look fantastic. She's
You
just
look like crap, Dollface.
You look like
Makeover. Oh well.
well, this is as good as you're gonna get with the resources I have available to me. However,
Hold
if
up. I go to my trunk and pop it open. Do you like fur or no fur?
ooh,
that is the question.
it's like Pulp Fiction, where the trunk opens up and then a light shines on your faces.
I've got mink. That was pretty penny. Wolf, but you can't wear that. That's mine. Sheep. That's
Rabbit?
also mine. Rabbit. That is not mine. You can wear rabbit. Hazel,
Alright.
do you want mink?
Do you have fox fur?
I do. I pull out some.
All right, and Hazel, you would recognize that this is like it would take you guys almost 2 years probably to afford a fox fur coat. Like if you paid for nothing else, if you lived on air and water and didn't pay rent or anything else, this coat is 2 years of work for the both of you.
I'm never giving this coat back.
Please do give it back. I won that in a wild hunt.
I don't know what that means.
And you're
These
just
guys didn't used to talk, did they? Never mind. I don't want to know.
They did.
God damn it.
That just means it's a coat made of friends.
What part of I didn't want to know? Oh, whatever.
Lulu's gonna look back at you guys and she'll be like, "You take care of me, I take care of you."
Just huddled up in my fox fur coat, just nodding furiously.
On the way there, they're both getting changed in the backseat of the car, like pulling on hose and.
We have that like divider for your family from the driver to the back. Just imagine like them throwing clothes everywhere, and Lulu's just like a tie hits her in the face.
she's like beast form. All right.
Doing this for Rosie.
So you Beltade, you stylishly pull up are you pulling up right at the gala to like
Oh
let them-
yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm the driver who has the best, so I'm gonna pull off, show off Tatiana as I get out, take off my flat cap, go to the car door in the back and open it and give a bow to these three lovely ladies.
All right. What is the order of disembarking said vehicle, Lilith?
I'm the last one because I gotta get that dramatic like.
All right.
That's right. The Harkin sisters get off the limousine in their new attire, and then Lilith, like does the Titanic step.
Yeah,
I offer my
Man
hand
up.
to Lilith.
I'll take Belton's hand and just look around.
I've never gotten out of a car like this wearing clothes like this before. I am very much just the awkward duckling, like.
And particularly there are a few cameras and some pictures being taken because there's this is the gala and a freaking jewel covered limousine just pulled up, so
We don't even need an invitation. Our car's invitation enough.
enough. So yeah, when you do get to the door, that someone is like, name to you, Lilith.
I'm gonna use like the name that I would say this is like, how people have like front businesses. This is like my front persona.
Right.
Like
Okay.
they're known in the human world.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm so bad with names. Do you want to guys give me a name, like a cool ass name?
Just L.
Molly
Just O.
What?
Hugh.
I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
It's a very old French name.
I like it.
and if you guys remember it, I'm not gonna put that in the notes. So we're gonna try
That's
to.
fine. I don't know how to spell Montague, mainly
Okay.
because it's French.
And go ahead, Lilith. And
Like Montague? Or no, that's
No, it has an
What's wrong with
EUX at the end.
What?
so
That's not real
That
words.
is fancy.
are you gonna Lilith? Are you just using normal people like deception to try to get in?
no, I'm gonna use look into my eyes.
Okay, all right. Let us. So
yeah.
that's charm.
That's
So-
charms. So it would be just 2d6 plus charm.
Yep.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, I have a 3 in charm, so it's a 9.
All right. Okay. Partial success, and the person is like, oh, somebody must have messed up the list. I'm really sorry. That great French name. Let's go ahead and just go on in. We'll fix it. And you know that there's going to be you don't know as a character, but as players, something is going to be a repercussion for the partial success. Not in a bad way, just something's going to tweak what's going on. So so you are allowed into the gala. Beautiful chamber music, the William Lewis, was it?
Wyndham Lewis.
Wyndham Lewis. Art is everywhere on display.
Yeah. He did the I guess would be classified as futuristic
Oh, nice.
art movement, but not quite. It's photorealism, but it's big long history of that.
Nice.
It's a lot of like cubism type.
It led into the Cubism movement, into the futuristic movement, into the brutalist movement, which we all hate.
Yep. We do.
All right. So you're in. What do you do?
Harkin's really nicely dressed, but she's still dragging around that briefcase.
Let's say the coat is big enough to hide it. It's just like one of those like big fluffy coats.
Nice. In the Discord, a coat appeared.
Yes, it's exactly like that.
Okay. There's people walking by with flutes of champagne and hors d'oeuvres and such. So it's quite the swanky affair.
I imagine a guy walks by with flutes of champagne, and Harkin grabs a flute of champagne off of his tray, and Hazel, like, without hesitating, just grabs the flute of champagne out of Harkin's hand and puts it back on the same tray as he continues to walk past them.
I was gonna say there's either two options how that played out, which is that you grab one for yourself, but you're standing near me, so you grab two, pretending that you're going to give me one. And then as
then
I
just
go to
back
reach
one
for
and
it, just
hold the
one,
other.
two.
All right. Okay. So basically, you can easily find your way from museum to library, or is there something you want to do here at the gala?
Well, if you guys want to schmooze, I'm gonna go and hit the books in one way or another. She like cracks her
Thank you
knuckles
so
and then just
much.
walks away.
So do you follow Detective Harkin, or are you staying here?
I'm following my sister.
All right.
I'm going because I need to know what the fuck's going on.
I'll follow Lilith because that's my job.
Look it up.
I'm gonna jump story ahead because we've been having a great time, but we need to be done by 11:30, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either if you guys want to do this again next week, I'm totally down with just picking up the story. I'm fine either way. This is great.
Okay,
The
so
one shot becomes a 2-shot.
if that's cool by you guys, then that's, I mean, I was gonna, I can just cut pieces, chuck them, and we can wrap it up this evening. But if not, we'll play it out. We'll get clues. We'll come back next week and pick up from there. Which
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on board either way.
Let's
everybody
get some
can make it
clues.
next week right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you're moving off, trying to enter the library, that partial success comes back around, and a gentleman in a uniform, security is like, oh, the library is closed.
Oh, that's okay. I have a delivery to make to the library. I say, taking out my briefcase.
Okay. He, wrinkles his brow like that doesn't make any sense. He doesn't say
I thought my
anything.
people had called ahead. I thought you were expecting me.
This is above my pay grade.
Shame on you, Hawthorne. You were supposed to call ahead.
I'm sorry, the lines were down. I guess the switchboard failed yet again.
And you see him like starting.
That dang old switchboard, sir.
He's about to start snapping or trying to get the attention of other
I'm gonna
security.
go over to him,
Okay.
and I'm gonna put my hand. If I'm touching him, do I get a vantage for charm, to look into my eyes?
You don't need any identification.
Sure.
Is it not
Sure.
the
Let's
person-
go for it.
He's
No.
not
Do you want
good as you're looking.
I'll instead of spending a luck point for it, we'll let you re-roll. Or do you want advantage?
Okay.
Oh no,
Lost
you
it.
froze.
Yep. You still there?
Uh-oh.
Just one more d6. for
Yeah,
advantage?
an extra d6.
Okay. No.
It's a good frame.
Okay. Am I here?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So, and then pick the best two dice.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Detective Harkin's method and roll more dice.
Okay.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. I rolled 2 6s and a 5.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. And plus my charm, that is 12. So that's 15.
Okay, and were you using one of your powers, or were you using looking into my eyes, or just being charming?
I'm gonna do look into my eyes just because I want to make sure that nothing goes wrong.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna use look into my eyes. So I'm gonna put my hand on his face and be like, "Darling, look into my eyes."
And he does, and you could just you see the pupils dilate and such. You got him. What do you tell him?
I'm gonna. Would this be can I mess with his memory, or is it just him? He can follow. He'll follow my orders, no questions asked.
Right. He'll follow orders. You can't reach in. You'd need some kind of psychic power to do that. But you could just tell him, this is nothing, don't worry about me. And he would just put it at the back of his mind. So
yeah, I'm just gonna say something like that. Don't worry about us. We're allowed to be here. Go on and keep doing your job.
Why, of course. I'm sorry I even got in your way. Let me get this. And he it's one of those velvet ropes, and he unclips it, and he beckons you past, and he can't seem to not watch you as you go, and in such a way that the rest of you, he doesn't even see you. He really doesn't. And
my
then
womanly charms.
yeah, and then he puts the rope back, and he's just watching you guys walk off into the library. As you leave his vision, he turns back around and straightens his hat and his tie. like I'm doing a good job.
Oh.
All right. You're
As
making
they're walking, Harkin leans into Lilith and says, "Don't you ever try that with me."
I'm gonna lean back and be like, what makes you think I haven't?
She just gives her the eye.
She just has a big grin with like fangs in there.
no, even
This
shows,
is a crucifix.
even shows the fangs. Wow. All right.
I'm only joking, darling. I would never.
How
Or she
old
gives
is
like
this?
a little wink, like.
It's hard to see through the sunglasses, though.
No, she'll go like.
How old is this library?
Probably turn of the century, like 100 years old. The museum is new, and the library is old.
Okay. I'll turn to our two human companions. Make sure you have a bit of silver on you. The libraries have gremlins.
You just hear Lilith like chuckle.
Fucking Hazel is shook. What do you mean, gremlins?
I kind of point to a shadow. Gremlins.
Harkin will like just toss a chain of silver around Hazel's neck.
Okay. Harkin, give me an intelligence check, or know thy enemy, whichever one you want to do.
I'm gonna know my enemy because
Perfect.
a funny story. My intelligence is not my best stat.
Okay, so it is brains, but you get to re-roll because it's lore.
Okay, that's still a pretty
Someone
good
say
one.
lore.
Still not bad. In fact, that is exactly 10.
All right.
So I won't reroll because that's good.
So Beltane, would you like to spend a luck point to make libraries have gremlins?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So spend one of your luck points, and as you Detective Harkin, as you're like, oh, that's right, and you swear you see, and the books being moved and like sorted and fixed, and these little shadows are flitting around on the bookshelves like, and so now it has become lore. Libraries have gremlins.
They're the ones that keep all the books in order.
Mm-hmm.
They're librarians.
I'll lean over to Hazel and say, gremlins are the spirit of the trees that were taken from their homes. These are
God.
particularly German gremlins. They're quite devious.
Just like deep breathing moments. It's a lot to take in.
Lilith
Yeah,
is gonna
what about the
go.
ones that are on airplanes?
The metal skybird.
Lilith is just gonna go. Keep your hands on your pockets.
Too bad
Wait.
we don't have any pine tree on us.
And what did Lilith say?
Like keep your hands on your pockets because they're like mischievous, so they like to like.
Okay.
Why? What's Pine gonna do for you?
German pine is the best word for German gremlins.
Can I spend a luck point to have some German pine in my briefcase?
You can just reach into your briefcase and spend one use to have German pine.
All right. I'm gonna say that it's a little bear that's been carved out of German pine,
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
cute.
Yep. All right.
and I'll toss that at Hazel.
Okay. Catch this toy your sister threw at you.
I just imagine Hazel with like a big fox fur coat, but then her sister keeps throwing like silver shade, wooden bear.
A little wooden bear.
It's my
She's just getting
bling.
bear.
Your bear bling.
Mhm.
Attach this and all right. So,
Hazel's not normally allowed out in the field, so when she is, she's getting all the protection.
you gotta. Okay. Yeah, so you see the gremlins flitting around. What did you get on that roll? You got a 10, right?
Yeah.
For the
yeah.
okay. All right. Yeah, the gremlins seem to, you see them now because of the sight. Hazel, there's no gremlins. It's
Not at
shadows. Shadows and moonlight.
Tricks of the
As you-
eye. Like that Houdini fellow I've heard about.
Right. As you work your way further into the library, I guess I'm gonna need. Who's Lilith? Are you leading?
I would let the detective lead just because she knew where the gnome was, but I'm
Okay.
like right behind her.
Okay. So then, Detective Harkin.
Do I know exactly where the gnome is, or do I just have a general idea?
You know he's in the library.
Alright.
I need you to make a.
Constitution saving throw.
Oh god.
It's
Okay. It's a moxie roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do that. It's not super
We
great.
don't do that.
7.
A 7. All right. So you're like, it's got to be down this aisle, and you turn down the aisle. Everybody's following you, and you swear that. Why are the bookcases running this way now? Give me a brains roll.
Oh, that's not great. 5.
5. So mark experience. That's the first failed roll of the game, I think.
Ooh, I think
Right?
so.
Ah!
So you get an experience point. When you get 7 of those, we're going to give you a new power or a bump to one of your stats.
Oh, dag, bro.
Wait, no, Hazel got double ones.
Oh, Hazel.
Oh,
Full
yeah.
fail.
XP.
That was the first
That
failed
was
roll.
great.
Yeah, I didn't put an XP slot on here, and I didn't put a looks spot on here. That's the 2 things I'd changed with the sheet. So Hazel, mark your XP because
Okay.
bonuses is good, particularly since we're playing another session. And what was it? It was a 5.
It was a 5.
Okay. Yeah. As you guys are walking around the stacks, time gets a little funky. Beltane, go ahead and give me a brains roll.
That's Moxie.
Brains, intelligence.
Oh. 6, 7.
A 7.
Yes.
You become aware that there is fey trickery going on. You don't know how to fix it, but you are aware of it. Do you tell the rest of the party?
I reach out and stop Lilith and call up to the 2 humans.
Okay.
Hey, watch your step. Is this library circular?
And no, you guys, I mean, that'd be general knowledge that the library is very rectangular.
But is the I didn't look at the floor when you came in. I don't think we're in a fairy circle, but keep silver ready, iron ready. Or if you feel generous, a bit of sugar and we're all happy.
Always.
We like sugar. Fairies freaking love sugar.
So I've been with Beltane for so long, or like a long time. Can I roll like a brains to
Sure.
maybe see if I know? Don't fuck me over. So that's not too bad. 8.
See, that is the problem with this system. If you do fail, bad things. You know, you get to see, but I get to go, oh, well, that's when the demon portal opens, you know.
As it does.
You know, those things happen. So you got a eight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are aware that you guys may have walked down this exact aisle before.
Yay.
Do you say anything? Because the human beings, you were just told to watch your step. So what are you doing to watch your step?
I'll say that out loud. Like there's something going on here. We've walked by this hall many times before.
I mean, I think at some point it becomes clear that Harkin's getting a little distracted. Like she'll stop and like take a book off the shelf every now and then.
Careful.
And Harkin, you can go ahead and give us a what is it? The
Dexterity saving roll.
well, no, she's got the know thy enemy. You may do another know thy enemy roll.
Alrighty. I'm going to re-roll that because I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh yes, that is your power.
We're just gonna
It's
be
my
stuck
power.
in this library forever.
All right. Well, that didn't help me much because that's a 6. Hi.
Okay, well, experience point.
Hey guys, I'm here to fuck you over with my rolls.
This is what I wanted.
So you're like, yeah, really, I think what we need to do, you know, and I'll let you play this out, you know that you need to have a picnic. The only way you're going to break this magic is if you have a picnic. You need to offer up something to these fae to get out of here.
All right, y'all like sweets.
Yeah,
Have
we
a look
really,
at this.
really
Harkin's
like
gonna like
sweets.
pull out a picnic blanket from her briefcase and flip it out onto the floor
Okay.
and plop down and just like start taking out like little jars of honey and cookies and things.
Okay. All right.
Always be prepared.
Okay. Mark off a use of your briefcase. All right. Do the rest of you sit down for the picnic?
Yeah.
No.
no.
There's no
Belton's
human
well
there.
aware
Vampires
of what
do not
picnics
pick.
imply.
I'll totally sit down with my sister. She's never led me wrong before.
It's like, oh, I'm trying to find my kidnapped wife who's in a lot of pain, and we're trying to find this informant. This is a great time for a picnic.
But you do know that there's some magic, you know, stopping you from going anywhere, really, from not just circling around in the library. So so the Hazel and Detective, you sit down, and do you sort of offer up the food? Do you start like making little cracker sandwiches, or you know?
We have to make the cucumber sandwiches or else it's not a picnic.
All right.
I read the guide to etiquette that was published in the 1920s.
That's right. So you guys start to make the food, and Detective Harkin, the little shadows start to crawl down off the shelves, and there's a dozen or more of them. And after the first, you know, few come around, there's like another almost dozen, and they skitter to the edge of the blanket, and now you can see them. They look like they stand like squirrels, and their hands are kind of like this, but they look like more like a I want to say a goblin, but like a German goblin, like a long nose, but they're all made of like shadow, and they stop at the edge of the blanket, and they seem to be waiting for something.
All right, little guys. If you want this, You gotta let us out of here. Capiche?
Um,
Are you giving gremlins permission?
I'm giving them
Because-
permission on some very specific, with some very specific caveats. Yes.
all right.
Oh
I
dear.
wouldn't do that if I were you, detective.
And I
So-
think, if anything, that might be the perfect place to call for tonight.
Yes.
Is right as you are offering up the gremlin food. So, I wanted to say thank you to Greybeard, especially for running this game. This has been fantastic. I'm glad that we decided to do a second night of this because I want
Yes.
more. I want to be Hazel so much longer than just a single evening. She's such a cute little psychic girl. That's all I've wanted. So, first and foremost, thank you to all you wonderful players, and thank you to everybody who decided to come on by and watch as our improv night led us to the library as two humans took on a job from a vampire and a very powerful fae. So, we're going to go around the circle. So, first off, Greybeard, where can we find you? What do you do?
I'm Greybeard of Greybeard's Tavern, and you can find me normally here on Tuesday nights playing Krog Gorblast, Goliath Gladiator, and that's in Waterdeep, and we may only have a couple more episodes, so you can see the end of the quest. And then on Thursdays, I play, tomorrow, I play Bavard. He's kind of a scoundrel, and his boyfriend killed his magic vibrating cat, who was his best friend, and now they're split up on different quests. And tomorrow may be the end of that storyline, where I have sworn to plunge a dagger into the heart of the individual who killed my best friend, the magic vibrating cat. So I may have to kill my boyfriend tomorrow.
So much drama.
Check us out. It is Pro Restarters channel. So yes, there is a lot of drama. And then on Sunday mornings, you can find me playing in my own channel. I play Darkest Dungeon, and I've got, the Tommy gun and some other toys to play with. And we have a good time from 10 a.m. till noon Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. And next week, you'll see me right back here to have some more wonderful mythos, fae, supernatural 1920s noir.
Yes. All right. Next up, Danae, where can we find you?
I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do drawings mostly related to D&D. You can also find me here on Monday playing Coriander, the Eldrin Paladin. Once again, that's DanaeKeener.com. Look at my drawings. I'm a nerd.
It's true. And after Waterdeep, Danae, you are going to be running the Curse of Strahd. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, that is right.
Yeah. So
Tune in for that.
possibly within the next month, depending on how our Waterdeep game goes.
That's true. Go back and get caught up on the VODs for the Curse of Strahd games that are going to be resuming very soon.
Yes. And Satan, where can we find you? What do you do?
I do many things. Mostly I play TTRPGs like this one. I'm always going to be on Saturdays over at the Plot Hunters channel playing Alina, a half-drow barbarian. And I have actually a couple more games coming up. I think that actually I have one with Greybeard coming up in April, run by Dammit Berry. And it's going to be the Ghost of Saltmarsh. And I believe it's going to be Thursdays or Wednesday. I have 2 games with him coming up, so I'm not sure yet. Wednesdays.
Yes.
And then I have another game with Dammit Berry coming up soon. Actually, there's like a pre-session one-shot coming up tomorrow, where I'm going to play Shatterkai Shadow Sorcerer. Ooh. But yeah, I've been really busy, and whatever you guys invite me to and whatever I can find. And you can find me at Alyssa Vamp on Twitter with 2 P's. I mostly just kind of retweet D&D stuff and kind of shitpost about D&D stuff. And yeah, that's me.
All right. And Jen, where can we find you? What do you do?
You can find me at the RPG Lab tomorrow. I am the DM taking 3 very unsuspected players through my homebrew world, the world of Ashenville. It's a hard mode campaign similar to the one you played there, Indoor. And you can find me on the SS Adventures channel. I am a sassy shadow halfling sorcerer who hates life to the fullest. It's fun.
Excellent. And if you have made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you did not, I am the Indoor Adventurer, and you have been watching twitch.tv/the Indoor Adventurer, where if you go and check out our back history, you can find all sorts of lovely VODs, including games from the majority of these people on this channel. You can also go to youtube.com/the Indoor Adventurer and check us out there. Or if you are more of an audiocast person, you can go to indooradventures.podbean.com or search for Indoor Adventures on any number of your audio cast preferences. So Spotify, iTunes, Google, any of the places where you would find an audio cast, you can find us. And if you can't find us there, let me know, because 2019 is the year that Indoor Adventures overtakes indoor air quality repair. So help me God. We'll do it, gang. Regardless of what the summer has in store, adventuring will be better than air conditioning. Also, we have a Patreon, so if you want to go and support us there, you totally can. And our Patreon goes to support after shows that we do, including Nights in the Courtyard, which is a show where we get to ask each other questions from player to player about either character choices, or we get to go in and kind of find out more from the community, what you guys are interested in. We have answered questions such as who would play our characters in a real-world setting, what is our character's comfort food, to even if our characters were in the real world, what kind of social media would they use? All of these questions answered Nights in the Courtyard, which is coming on after this, but for our patrons. So I would like to say thank you to everybody once again, and as always, I appreciate all of you guys, both players and audience, because you all make this very worth it for me to be able to host and run every week. So thank you, and we will see you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. I hit my elbow on the edge of the table.
Nothing funny about that.